If you're an introvert, you've come to the right spot. Here are the highest paying jobs for introverts. Hi everyone, my name is Hisham Khan and welcome to Income Over Outcome. Now when you picture an introvert, you probably think of someone who is really quiet and shy, but usually that's not the case. Most introverts actually have no problem talking to people. It's just that they feel drained if they're forced to interact with people too much. Introverts thrive on their own, and being one actually has some huge benefits. Introverts have a lot of skills that make them suitable for some of the highest paying jobs. They tend to be great listeners, they work independently, and are amazing problem solvers. Research even shows that introverts tend to make some of the best CEOs and leaders. So my fellow introverts, let's talk about what careers are going to help us thrive. And I have something for everybody, whether you like math, tech, or are creative. The highest paying job on this list pays well over $200,000. So comment right now what you think it is, and let's see who gets it right. Now let's get into it. Coming in at number 12 is accounting. This was actually one of the top majors in my video on the best business degrees. Like I talked about in that video, accounting is super versatile, but accounting as a career is also a great move. It's one of the more stable corporate careers out there because literally every single business needs accountants. If an accountant gets fired from their job because their company isn't doing well, they can pretty much count on getting a job as an accountant at another company. Plus you can work in any industry in a ton of different environments, from the government to big corporations, or you can even start your own firm. The very nature of the job is perfect for an introvert because most of the work is independent and you'll be dealing with other people's money, which means you need to be detail-oriented and very organized. On average, accountants earn $72,000 a year, but you can earn a lot more depending on what you specialize in and what industry you work in. This next one is for those of you who have a more creative mind. It's video editing. Now, as the world becomes more digitized, the demand for good editors is growing insanely fast, at 18%. Just to edit one of these videos, it takes me around 4 hours because I have to pay attention to every single detail to make sure it looks as attractive as possible. It's super tedious and takes a ton of time. Not everyone can do it, and that's why big YouTubers always hire editors. In big productions like movies, an editor's job is even more important because they actually control the storyline and can make viewers feel emotions. And that's why having a skilled editor is super important. Now, if I wanted to become an editor, I wouldn't go to college for that because that would just be a waste of money. It's a skill that you can learn on your own. I would refine my editing skills by constantly practicing and getting to the point where I know people would pay me for my work. At that point, I would start connecting with people who make videos and show them what I can do, then start freelancing my skills out. Once you first start out, you probably won't be earning a ton of money, but top editors can charge upwards of $80 an hour. If you work for a big YouTuber or even large media company, you can easily earn over $100,000 a year. According to the Department of Labor, the average salary for a video editor is $89,000. Not bad for not needing a college degree. If you like telling stories, being creative, and are very detail-oriented, being an editor might be the perfect option for you. In 10th place, we have a classic career, engineering. Everyone knows the stigma behind engineers is that they're super unsociable and awkward, but in my experience, that's most definitely not true. Most of the engineers I know are actually super fun to hang out with. What's true though is that introverts tend to make great engineers because they're good at critical thinking and problem solving. Engineers also have to be creative and think outside of the box to come up with new designs and solutions. There are so many different types of engineering disciplines out there, I don't have time to talk about them all in this video. But if you want to learn more about them, check out this video over here where I talk about the best engineering degrees and how much they pay. Holding the 9th spot are cybersecurity analysts. I like to call them the CIA of the internet. Cybersecurity analysts are hired to make sure companies are protected against online hacks and security breaches. Companies will even pay you to hack into their systems because that helps them find any weaknesses that they might need to fix. To get a cybersecurity job, you need to be good at coding, hacking, and learn how to manage hardware, which are all things you can learn if you go to college for cybersecurity. But some of the softer skills you need are being inquisitive to find problems, of course problem solving, and also being a diligent worker. All skills that introverts tend to be really good at. The main reason this is such a good field to go into is because it's growing like crazy. I mean, think about it. Our world is facing more cybersecurity threats than ever before, and it's only going to get worse. The field is growing by an astounding 31%, which makes it one of the fastest growing jobs out there. And I talked all about those in this video over here. The pay is also really high. The average cybersecurity analyst makes around $100,000. So there's no doubt that if you go into this field, you'll have a pretty cool job, your skills will be in demand, and you'll live a pretty comfortable lifestyle. Now, if you found this video helpful so far, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button because that really motivates me to continue making videos like this for you all. Coming in at number 8, we have Economist. Economists focus on collecting data data and analyzing it to find trends and issues with the economy. You can work in a lot of different places, from research firms to the government and even private companies to help them maximize profits. And because the job is so technical and data-driven, you need to have strong analytical skills, which makes it perfect for an introvert. You can get some entry-level jobs in the government with just a bachelor's degree, but your pay is going to be on the lower end. Most economists have at least a master's, and some even have a PhD. Watching my videos, you might have realized that the best jobs tend to have high growth rates. That's because these jobs should have more demand in the future, which means you could expect your salary to go up over time. Plus, it gives you more stability in your career. And economists have a high growth rate of 14%, which is really good considering the average across all jobs is just around 3%. The median salary is also around $50 an hour, or $105,000 a year. At 7th place are software developers. Most developers work at big tech companies like Apple and Google. They're responsible for making every single thing we see on the screens of our phones and computers, including our favorite apps like TikTok. And most of their job just involves writing out code to build out that software. If you're someone who likes to open up your laptop, grind out some work without having to deal with many people, and then going about the rest of your day, software development might be a great fit. Software developers tend to have some of the best work-life balance out there because their hours aren't insane, and companies like Google give you insane perks, like unlimited snacks and being able to bring your pets to work. It's also pretty obvious that tech is only going to become more and more important in the future, and demand for software developers isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Right now, they're currently growing at 22%, and the average salary is $107,000. If you want to become a software developer, then you should major in something like computer science, which is a degree I've talked about in the past in this video over here. Up next are actuaries, which are mathematical geniuses who use formulas to make predictions of the future. Now that might sound like a boring job, but it's actually pretty interesting. See, actuaries are pretty good at guessing things like the odds of investments doing well, the odds of you getting into a car accident, or even the exact age you're going to die. They usually work for insurance companies to see how risky a person is to insure. That's how the company charges you. The riskier you are, the more you're going to be paying for things like your health, auto, and even home insurance. So when your insurance rates go up, you should be blaming an actuary. And introverts can absolutely thrive as actuaries because most of the work you do is completely independent. Now, the process of becoming an actuary is pretty complicated because there's a series of tests you have to take, but I've talked all about that in this video over here, so check it out if you haven't already. Growth for actuaries is also super high at 18%, and the median salary is around $108,000 a year. But like I explained in the other video, a lot of actuaries actually earn over $200,000. Coming in hot at number 5 are computer network architects. These are the people who design internet networks, usually for businesses. See, when a company buys a new building or moves offices, they need to set up the internet. Now for people like you and I, that's really easy to do at home. All we do is plug a few wires into our router and boom, we got Wi-Fi. But for a huge company, it's way more complicated, and if the network is set up wrong, there can be huge security risks. The job is pretty hands-on and involves a lot of problem solving and technical skills. Typically, you need at least a bachelor's degree in something like computer science or information systems. But for us introverts, it's very well worth it because you could expect to make around $113,000 a year. Now at number 4, we have a job that's kind of similar. Computer information research scientists. These people study problems with technology and try to figure out how they can make it better. The job is perfect for introverts. It involves a ton of heads down independent work, requires a lot of focus, and an analytical mind. You need to have at least a master's degree in something like computer science, but most computer information research scientists have a PhD. And like with a lot of the other jobs in the tech world, the field is growing like crazy at 15%, and pay is high at $123,000. Holding third place are natural sciences managers. Now this is one of the more uncommon jobs on this list, but it's a great option for you if you like science. You would be responsible for overseeing research and development projects, which typically involve supervising people like chemists, biologists, and physicists. Now this is most definitely not an entry-level job. You have to become a scientist first, and you obviously need to be good at managing people, but because it's in the sciences, you'll probably be managing other introverts. And like I said in the beginning of this video, introverts tend tend to make really good leaders. You also need to be disciplined, meticulous, and an intuitive thinker, which are all skills that come naturally to introverts. The median salary is $129,000, so if you're an introvert who likes science and research, you might want to look into becoming a natural sciences manager. Coming in second are data scientists. Now if you keep up with my channel, you know I'm a huge fan of any field involving data, because data runs the world. So being able to understand it and use it is one of the most valuable skills you can have. As a data scientist, you would analyze huge amounts of data and then help your company make decisions on their growth and strategy based on what you found. And that's why good data scientists make bank. And introverts have exactly what it takes to get there. Some of the most important things are being an expert at analyzing problems, research, and storytelling. You can get some entry-level jobs with a bachelor's degree in things like stats, math, or analytics, but to get the higher level jobs, you need to have at least a master's. The average starting salary out of school is around $95,000, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then in the middle of your career, you could expect to make around $130,000. And if you work your way up into an experienced role, you can make upwards of $250,000. Now the one we've all been waiting for. In the number one spot are psychiatrists, which are basically psychologists with a medical degree so that they can prescribe medicine. Some of the key characteristics of introverts are that they're great at listening and can easily analyze and read other people, which makes them the perfect fit to be psychiatrists. And if you take this path, you'll earn upwards of $220,000. If you're still watching this video, you're a real one, and I really appreciate you. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already, and comment what you want me to talk about next. Feel free to check out one of these dope videos, and I'll see you next time. But until then, peace.